Yeah, I'm Detective David Snelling with the Arvada Police Department, SNELLING. I am the Public Information Officer, and I'm going to go ahead and give you guys information on what occurred this morning with our officers involved in a call here at 5360 Everett Street. So at about 5:08 a.m., officers were called to 5360 Everett in reference to a domestic violence type situation. There was reports of a serious assault and a potential homicide involved. Officers arrived on scene and were confronted with a male who was armed with an edged weapon. Concerned for a party inside of the apartment, officers made contact immediately and were attempting to get into the apartment and were confronted with this male. The male was shot by Arvada police officers and was pronounced deceased at the scene. We also sadly discovered that there was a suspect, a female victim in this case, and the female victim is also pronounced deceased at the scene. So officers, when they arrived, were confronted with this situation and ended up having to use force in order to get into the apartment and in dealing with this suspect. No officers were injured at the time. At this point, the investigation is early on. The critical incident team from the Jefferson County Regional Investigations is here on scene and at the police department. They will conduct their investigation. Again, this is an outside group of people that involves the Jefferson County DA's office, the Sheriff's Office, Wheat Ridge Police Department, Golden, Lakewood, and other jurisdictions within the county. Again, this is an outside oversight team that will help. We will also be conducting our own internal investigation as far as the incident itself and any other potential charges that would come with it. No one else in the apartment complex was injured, and nobody else in the apartment was injured. And we do have reports of one person that was inside that was actually the reporting party as an adult male calling us.
He was actually in the apartment building, the same unit?
He was actually in the same apartment unit.
So 3 people inside total?
There were 3 people inside. One adult male gave us a call to alert us to what was going on.
You said he had an edged weapon. Is that...
Right now, we just know it's an edged weapon. It's early on in the scene. It's some type of knife. So we're trying to, again, ascertain exactly where that is and understand what happened.
Do you know, was this some sort of domestic violence situation?
We do believe that there was a relationship between the victim and the deceased suspect.
So the man who called in 911, he was in the apartment with the woman who was dead, and then that's where the call came from, correct?
Correct. It was a call from inside the apartment from an independent person.
Can you reveal the ages of the people involved or any more descriptive information about them?
Right now, the male suspect and the female suspect are in their early 40s. Or correction, I'm sorry, the female victim. I'll be very clear on that. The female victim's in her early 40s.
So we have reason to believe that the male who was shot by officers was the killer of the woman?
That's the component we're looking at right now, yes.
Now, one of the neighbors described what sounded like banging on one of the dumpsters. Did any of this spill over into the parking lot, or was that maybe gunshots that she was hearing?
It's hard to tell the tactics that they use to go into maybe, to gain entry, to contact the suspect. They use different types of devices maybe to subdue the suspect. But all that information is going to be looked at as part of the entire case as to what exactly occurred. So we can paint that clear picture, not just for this victim and their family, but for the investigators involved from the outside agencies.
Do you know if they have children, this couple involved in this domestic?
That I do not know.
How long did it take before hearing about this call to when the situation had been resolved?
That I don't know the exact time frame. I know we arrived and we got the call about 5:08, and within a couple of minutes we were on scene, obviously, and trying to ascertain and maybe see if there was anybody we could help inside right away. And of course, this is always one of the most dangerous types of calls officers can go on, especially in this case when they're predisposed with some information that it already is at a high level of danger.
Did he try to attack officers with that weapon as well?
The officers felt the need to fire. Now, what precipitated that, I can't comment on just yet.
And have you guys had any issues with the suspect before, any previous incidents?
That obviously will be a part of what we look into, but right now that information is not readily available.
Is it clear how the female victim perished?
It's not totally evident right now, and that will be something examined by the Jefferson County Coroner's Office to determine the actual cause and manner of death. And as soon as they are involved, then they will release that information.
Was the other adult male related to either one of them? Do we know?
I believe there's some type of relationship there, but we just haven't vetted that out yet.